For this lesson, we're going to learn the basics of animation through designing our own lo-fi GIF using this app called Piskel. And there's some examples that are on the homepage. This is kind of what the homepage looks like. And these are really in depth, but you can create something way more simple. You can use backgrounds, like different styles. You can kind of explore this as a tool, but I'm going to show you kind of the basic from scratch. But you can play around with it as much as you want to. So I'm just going to start. You can click Create from Scratch or Create Sprite. And it's really, really user-friendly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to animate just like a ball bouncing. Really, really simple. So I'm just going to use the pen tool. I'm going to pick a color. I'm going to make my ball light blue. And I'm going to start by just drawing it. And this is a square game, so to make a round ball, I'm actually going to start with a plus sign. And then I'm going to outline it in a darker blue, just for some more detail. So that's going to be my ball. It's basically just a round ball. And animations work frame by frame. So this is the first frame. And I'm going to think about it one step at a time. So I want it to bounce to the bottom, come back up, and then it's going to come back around. So there's a really easy way to do this, and I'm just going to click duplicate this frame, and it's going to put my ball exactly in the same spot for my second frame. To move this whole object down, I'm going to go down here and use the move tool, which is this little hand. I'm going to grab this and just move it down a couple of notches. Over here, you can see like your GIF starting to form. So already it's starting to wiggle back and forth. And the more frames you add, the smoother your animation is going to be. So I'm going to duplicate it again and move it down just a little bit. You can see it's starting to get a little bit bigger. And I'm going to do that again. So now I want my ball to change shapes just a little bit. So in this frame, I'm going to erase the edges and I'm going to turn it blue. I'm just going to like change the shape of it and it'll start getting like longer. And then I'm going to duplicate that again. I'm going to move that down just a smidge. And I'm going to add some more length to this. Go back to the blue. And I'm just kind of like watching it over here to kind of see what it does. You can slow it down using this tool here. So now it's going really slow and it's bouncing back up. Or you can speed it up based on what you want. So you can see it kind of like drips down. So I'm going to duplicate that again, move that down just a little bit, duplicate that. And I'm going to start making it get a little bit smaller. So I'm going to erase that and I'm going to make it dark blue on the edges again. And I'm going to really slowly make it fall in on itself. So I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to move this down here. And it's going to start squishing. And I'm going to duplicate one more time. I'm going to move it all the way to the bottom of my screen here. I'm going to delete that one. And I'm going to change the shape again. So I'm not doing much to change it. But I am going to flatten it out here. So now you can see it kind of like turns into a puddle at the bottom. And then I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to move it just slightly over, up one, and I'm going to change the shape again. Duplicate that, move it up, And I'm going to start putting it back into like a ball shape. So I'm going to turn that green. That way it won't look like a puddle so much. It's kind of turning back into a ball. And then I'm going to move that around a little bit. So I'll use the move tool, come back up here. Move this one up just a smidgen. And then when it hits this wall again, I want it to start collapsing in on itself. So I'm going to change the shape again. I'm going to make it get a little bit longer. And I'm going to move it up as well. Duplicate, move up, and I'm going to just change the shape. Basically only using like 2 tools here. And then I'm going to duplicate that again. I don't think there's a limit to frames, so you can use as many as you want. Cool. And then you can do a preview to take a look and see what it looks like. So to create or to look at your preview of what your GIF is going to end up looking like, you're going to go hover over your little animation in the corner, click this little arrow, and it'll open a new screen, and it'll basically show you what your GIF will look like. So if you need to do any adjustments before So this is what my preview of my GIF looks like. When I clicked that little arrow, it took me to this. So this gives you a good idea of what your GIF is going to look like. This will allow you to make any adjustments if you want to change anything. But yeah, this is really a basic animation. It gives you a solid principle and understanding on how to create different frames. Feel free to make yours more interesting than mine, but you can totally do something just as simple as this if you'd like to.